Staff announcement, Bubble Burst Rental is now open. If you enjoy this podcast, you may enjoy our other show, OVA Hell, where we talk about original video anime and movies from the 70s through early 2000s. We hope you enjoy shopping with us today.
Hi, welcome back to Bubble Burst Rental. We just spent the last month watching Red Garden, the 2006 through 2007 anime by Studio Gonzo, written by Tomohiro Yamashita and Mari Okada. Sure is a show. What do we all think of Red Garden?
I really liked it.
I liked it.
I really liked it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
In the end.
I was worried in the first few episodes that I had, massively misremembered, because as a teenager I gave this a 10 out of 10, so I recommended it thinking that it would be, as good as I remembered, and the first few episodes just start so slowly I was like, oh god, but I think it picks up, it's really good. Maybe not a 10 out of 10 as I thought, but it's definitely really good.
It definitely does pick up, not to get into it too much right now, but I guess my biggest issue personally is that it is good in the end. I think it only really starts picking up after the first half, frankly, maybe a little before the first half, and I can't in good faith recommend it based on the fact that you've got to get through a pretty slow and kind of boring first half.
See, now that
for
I
it
don't
to get good,
necessarily agree with. I think the first half is pretty integral to the show. It's an incredibly slow build of four characters coming to terms with their own mortality. So I think it's really important. It is just a bit slow.
No, it's important. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm saying that I think that it's a hard watch for half of it. And I'm not sure if getting through that hard watch part is something that I'd recommend that people do. Anyway, sorry.
It depends on the kind of person watching it, because slow burns are very much an acquired taste for a lot of people. I remember, what was the film I was thinking of? What's the show I was thinking of? Oh, Dune. I was talking with my friends about Dune, about how it's slow, it's build up, everything, and a whole bunch of people the first half of Dune is rough. The first half of the first Dune, nothing happens, it's rough. And it's I get where you're coming from. I don't necessarily agree. And the crazy thing about slow burns is it's different for different shows, for movies, for different people. One slow burn might work for one person, it might not work for the other. I guess it really boils down to the subject matter. For example, I was intrigued, even with all of its faults, but, I totally understand why you wouldn't be.
So what's the plot?
Okay. The plot is four girls wake up one morning with no memories of the night before. I don't know. We are just spoiling the whole show, aren't we?
Yeah, just fuck it.
Cool.
We'll stick to stuff that happens within the first few episodes for now. We'll get to the ending and dead girls.
Cool.
God, will we get to dead girls? But
okay.
I should have watched Dead Girls.
All four of them died that night, and none of them remember it. But now they have to fight off these evil dogmen at the behest of a mysterious organization. None of them want to do it. It's incredibly realistic to the way that a teenager would react to being in that scenario. I think it's really cool for that. I think that's the main draw, is how realistically the characters are written.
yeah.
Did you want to do the quick housekeeping of the different translations we watched?
Right. Yeah, we probably should hit that as well pretty early. As a heads up, this show is available on Crunchyroll. There'll be a note in the description on everywhere you can watch this. I try and put that for every bubble burst that we do, because you're likely to be able to watch these, unlike OVA Hell, where, good luck, you can't find anything on legal sites.
Are you telling me there's no legal way to watch the cinematic masterpiece that is Twinkle Nora Rock Me?
Unfortunately, no. If I had my way,
Or
I
even
would...
worse, the seminal masterpiece that is the greatest film to ever exist, Dog Soldier?
I want Dog Soldier in the fucking Criterion collection. But yeah, so the show is available on Crunchyroll. We did not all necessarily watch it on Crunchyroll. A few of us ended up watching... I think actually most of us ended up watching, to some extent, a older fan sub release, which has some weird name incorrections. For one thing, the character of Herve, or Herve, I don't know if it's Herve or Herve.
I think it's Herve.
I don't know. Herve is referred to as El Rey for like the first 9 episodes in this subtitle, and the character of Luke is called Rook for the entire thing. Also, there's Ewan, who might be Ewan. I said the same thing twice.
Yeah, when you say it out loud, I see where they got it wrong.
Yeah, Ewan spelt Y-U-A-N, who might be Ewan spelt E-W-A-N, but I couldn't find anywhere that actually like noted the name on any major database website. I looked at the characters on AniList, I looked at them on Mal. Ewan isn't listed anywhere there, full stop. So
poor Ewan.
I don't know if that's true. All we can say for certain is that El Rey is supposed to be Herve. There was a very funny moment, which I have had as a brain rot since seeing it, where at the start of this episode, a fucking note comes down at the top of the screen and just says, the role of El Rey will now be portrayed by Herve. Which fucking threw me. And then again, Luke is called Rook for the entire thing. I will be saying Rook accidentally.
And Louise might actually be Louise.
So Luke is now officially a Combined Awards Defensor member.
No?
No, these is definitely these. The whole time.
Okay.
Louise is a different character.
I think a lot of these names are kind of Japanese attempts at American names. That's why they kind of sound almost correct, but then also Japanese.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in this show in general. A lot that we picked up on in the first few episodes, where there's things which are like normal in anime and culturally fine, but that feel weird when applied to a setting that is New York circa 2006.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I love so much when other countries try and adapt other countries. So in this case, Japan is writing a story, or Japanese studios writing a story set in New York, because there's elements they add that they don't think of as particularly Japanese, but in fact very much are. And we'll get into a lot of them, but there's one right at the end, which is Rose serves her siblings Hamburg steak, which is not a thing anywhere outside of Japan.
I can't imagine having hamburger steak, because it's like the whole point of it is the perfect trifecta of a hamburger, the cheese, the tomato sauce, the bread. Why can you not have with bread? Japan, why?
So Hamburg steak as a dish is actually kind of a way for Japan, which has very mountainous regions, to create steak. Because you have so little cattle, you basically make the steaks out of mince to emulate it instead. Because you can use kind of different cuts, you can like kind of cheap out a little. But because of that, it was very popular in family restaurants. So the association is that it's kind of a children's food, which makes Rose's constant cooking of it very interesting.
Because she's a child looking after children.
Yeah. So she's cooking what she thinks is fancy kids' food because she's a kid.
I had a note about that, actually. Hang on.
I have a note on that as well, because that is something I will give to the fan sub. Maybe the Crunchyroll subs do this as well. But when it comes to that scene in the fan subs, they do choose to translate it as Lokomoko, which is a similar Hawaiian dish, which would be eaten in America around this time, I guess. It's like not unfeasible. I think that the fan subbers did a pretty cool job there by localizing, not a mistake, but finding a way to make something work within the setting without it just being a weird moment, you know?
Like a jelly donuts.
I don't know
Yeah.
how y'all kind of grew up with a lot of the anime, but, you know, growing up with a lot of these fan subs back in high school, watching it this way was kind of a trip down memory lane, right down to the excessive uses of explicitives. I thought that was very charming. Any new anime watcher might find that a bit obscene, but I think it's like, oh, this is that kind of fan sub. Oh, I've missed these.
to be fair, we are talking about, like, American teenagers. They are going to say fuck a lot. That's kind of what they do. That's what teenagers do.
Not to
They
mention
say-
New Yorkers as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't mention this is New York. As close as they could get it.
Yeah. There's very little focus on any, like, locales, I noticed. There's a bit on, like, the Roosevelt Island tramway, because I guess they are on Roosevelt Island. That's where the school is that they attend.
I did notice there were some locations that were, especially the train locations. I'm like, oh shit, I've actually been there. Oh, cool. So they did do their research. I think it was just a bit understated, and they were primarily focusing on, you know, the characters, which, you know, I think is a good way to go about it.
I mean, like, compare this to the last thing that we watched that was set in New York, Cypher the Video, which puts a lot of focus on the locale. And, like,
Arguably too
specific
much in
notes,
retrospect.
arguably too much in retrospect, but they didn't know. Like, there are...
Podcast listeners won't know this, but that episode has ruined Let's Hear It for the Boy for me, because I work at retail, and when it comes off, I just suddenly think Cypher the Video.
Yes. But, like, there's a few shots of Statue of Liberty. I think they put in a shot of the Empire State Building at least one point. I'm pretty sure it's in the OP. But, like, they never go to Times Square. They never show that.
I guess it's because, like, they're
they
not
just kind of
tourists. Like, these are people who live in New York, so why would they be doing all that shit? It's quite interesting in that regard, that it's kind of set in New York, but it's not too fussed about being set in New York.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of Claire's storylines, a lot of those locations, it seemed very much based on Harlem. Again, I've only spent like a day or two in Harlem, and I know I keep bringing this up on the podcast, but it seemed like she was very much in that area where it's not the poorest of the poor, but it's definitely a much more rugged area. You know, it's considered the birthplace of a lot of jazz for a reason.
Before we get
have
too
a
far into the
question.
characters.
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, before you go on, before we get too far into characters, should we go into the characters and talk about them?
Yeah, let's go into the characters. Yeah, because they're the beating heart of this show. We have 4 of them. Technically 5, but we can talk about
we'll
Lee's.
get to Lee's.
Yeah.
You think her name's supposed to be Lisa?
No, it's Lee's on, like, every official
But I mean, like,
database or
Is
database that would get the
what
names
they
correct.
were going
Database,
for?
database, just
Yeah,
live
because
it
they
in the
all
database.
pronounce it Lise.
So I'm wondering if it's just like they fucked up, basically. Like, you
Maybe?
know, Lula as well, I feel is spelt really weird.
Lula's, yeah.
I mean, how'd you spell that?
I'm trying to remember how it's spelled now, I just remember noting it down.
The sub I watched was Lula, which seems pretty... I don't know
Yeah,
how I'd
it
spell
changed halfway through. I think they might have been spelling it Lura, so Lura.
Tura Lura.
It's kind of like these it's kind of the perfect mix of a fan subber trying to take names that were already done pretty poorly. Like, I've popped it in the lounge chat of the 90s baseball video game where the Japanese made up
yes.
a bunch of fake
yeah.
names. It feels a bit like this show's trying to do that.
These do all look like characters that could be in this show. Speaking of the characters, shall we go into the characters a little?
Yes,
before we
please.
continue with plot.
I liked them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I posted, like, the character connections diagram to the slide that was off the website. So you've
That's
got, like...
pretty useful.
Yeah, got, like, the main 4, which is Rose, Claire, Rachel, and Kate. And then kind of the person who brought the 4 of them together, Lise. And then it's kind of, like, each of those girls' families. And then we have the 2 from the mysterious organization, Lula and JC. And then 2 detectives who are so good at their jobs, unfortunately.
So too
they
good
are
at their jobs.
so on it.
They're the best characters.
But and
The
then
fact
you've
that
got
they
Herve.
work out what's happening.
Yeah, like, they're correct. And it sucks, because, like, they can't do shit about it. Because it's, like, you know, curses and supernatural shit.
Should we start with Kate then, considering she's the first on the list?
Yeah, we probably should. Also, I don't know if anyone else felt this. Obviously, it's an ensemble cast with a 4-person lead, or 4 main leads. But I kind of get the feeling that Kate is, like, the main character. I feel like a lot of stuff ultimately revolves around her
I think she had the
the
strongest.
most, although they do yeah.
She had the strongest connections to basically everyone. Like, I feel like her connection to Lise was the strongest, and then she has connections to, like, both organizations. So I think that works really well. And she does end up feeling very main character-y by the end, even though they get, like, equal screen time.
Like, she finds out... She gets told information that the other characters don't. We actually see her practicing with her big jumps. Because, like, they can jump really high. That's their power.
And I think they have super
I think
strict...
that's supposed to be flying from what they were saying.
I don't think it was
vibes, even though
flying.
they definitely said flying.
They definitely said it was flying, but it always looked more like big jumps.
I thought it was just they kind of had super strength, so they just jumped around really quickly. That's my kind of thing. This seemed like the kind of show that could have been turned into a live-action tokusatsu show in the same vein as Garo, minus the suits.
Kate's cool.
So
She's
she's part of Grace. So she's kind of prim and proper is the stereotype that they're kind of going with. I think that a lot of the characters start with, like, a base kind of stereotypical character, I guess, archetype, and they get built upon. So Kate's kind of, prim and proper, and she's in this, like, the student council, effectively, which is another element that I assume American schools do not have.
yeah,
Well, at least not in the same way.
not in the same way that a Japanese school does, or at least Japanese media portrays Japanese schools as having.
And I think they kind of, again, it's hard to go into spoilers, but for an average anime audience, you could kind of write it off as, oh, it's just an anime trope. But then when you get into it, there's kind of a reason why the school's a lot stricter, and you're like, oh, that's playing with the tropes. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even really consider it, but yeah, it is. It's spawns for the end of the show. Basically a big crypt, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they kind of need that
Built on top
disciplinary.
of-
They need that disciplinary thing to keep everyone in line. And they can I spoil? Are we spoiling at this point?
That's fine.
Who fucking cares?
They knew the whole fucking time.
If people are listening to this fucking podcast and they haven't watched the show, then that's on them. Like, you come into people talking about an anime, especially a whole anime like we're doing here, and you don't expect spoilers, that's on you. Like,
In
go
fairness-
watch the show if it sounds interesting.
In fairness, we can watch a whole anime and still take not enough from it. Don't watch the OVA hell of Patley, the movie.
I think the one thing that we haven't touched on with Kate is that she's definitely bi, and I quite liked that.
Yeah.
Like,
I like how
initially,
explicitly queer.
yeah, I thought she was gonna be like an outright lesbian because of how important her attraction to Lise was specifically. Like,
I
kind
didn't
of.
pick up on that.
Really? Oh, it was like
I didn't.
super
She was in love with Lise
overt.
for sure.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
the way like Lise like telling her she's got this new boyfriend is like really quintessentially that kind of like childhood lesbian experience where you're like really upset but you don't understand why. Like, to me, that came across, like, so well.
I also like that she did later on, like, date Herve. She found him attractive, but we can get into Herve later, because that dynamic was fucked
Yeah.
from the start.
That dynamic is...
Yeah,
We're talking about Kate
unfortunately.
right now. We're not
I'm not even
talking
blaming Kate
about
for it,
him.
but her family... That's like an actual criticism I have of the show, is I don't understand why her family was so supportive of her dating, like, a 20-something.
When she's 17.
I kind of think I get it, though, because, like, they're quite well off, specifically. So I feel like it's more of a kind of aristocratic setting up your children with good potential people. So she's like 17. I don't think we ever get Herve's age, but he's definitely like he's got a 12-year-old younger sister, and he looks considerably older.
He's very clearly in like his
Yeah.
20s. He's like 25 minimum.
But I
I'd
don't
say.
think they're expecting them to kind of like be in a relationship. I think it's like dating, as in that kind of like older concept where you're just kind of putting people together.
Either way, it's pretty gross.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're expecting her to like fuck him at that point. I think it is just like setting up for the future where, like, you know, maybe you do decide to marry this guy in a few years. He's like from a good family. It's more that.
From a family of dogmen, but yeah, sure.
They're very rich dogmen.
They are very rich dogmen.
Yeah, they are incredibly rich dogmen.
They got that dog in them.
I do want to go back to the gay thing. I didn't pick up on Kate being gay for Lise. I did pick up on Paula being gay for Kate fucking immediately.
Paula was
So
like
obvious, yeah.
She's so gay.
But that's
like,
why
she's
So gay.
that's why, you know, I feel like I'm in the minority in this one, but I didn't like Paula's crush on Kate because it felt so one-sided. So
No, it definitely
that scene
was.
where she confesses her love, I was like, I feel like she's forcing it on Kate real hard because I don't think at any point Kate has gotten over Lise, considering the ending as well.
There's a lot of themes of power dynamics and body, and I would argue bodily autonomy. And I feel that her kind of keeping her in grace and kind of pushing that, it did seem very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Felt controlling.
Very manipulative, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes, controlling, yeah. And
I think, though, that, like, it was because that was the only place she could kind of do anything for Kate. Because, like, you know, she was, like, covering for her disappearances and other people picking up on weird stuff. And I feel like if she was just a normal student, Paula wouldn't have been able to, you know, have that kind of sway. Like, so I
And
definitely get it.
Kate probably went along with it because, you know, that being in Grace was probably the only place she could actually matter, because in her own home she's sort of used as a bit of a pawn for political gain. At school she's supposed to just uphold everything. At Grace she's at least given a place where she's actually herself and treated as herself. So it's no wonder she kind of fell into that manipulation.
Also, her family was so happy that she got it. As
Yeah,
well.
like, because they're like considerably well off from what I can tell, but Kate sees Grace as like the only way to her future, which is really interesting. Because, like, you would think she could kind of get that support at home, but this is, like, the most important thing to her.
And, like, her dad as well, there was a chance of her getting kicked out of it, and then he immediately wants to go in an uproar. And, like, talk to the school about it.
I also noticed there's a scene later where Kate and her sister and Emilio,
Yeah.
so
Yes,
the
it's
sister's
Emilio.
partner, go to have dinner with the dad. And before that, Kate says to Emilio, you have to say that you asked her out, otherwise he won't approve. So I think the dad
Yeah.
is very traditional, or is meant to be.
Women having autonomy, not under my roof.
Imagine raising
Without
two
fully getting-
incredibly strong-willed daughters and then being annoyed that they asked out someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
I'm sure we'll get into him a little more when we get to Herve, but I do kind of like Emilio. I think that he seems fine.
He got
Like,
a raw
Like
deal
the
in this show.
goodest boy.
he got a bad deal.
I don't know. We don't have a slide for Emilio on the little Google slide things. I'll just talk about it now. For me, he's very fucked by association. Like, I don't like him because of the fact that he is part of the Dorrell family, the rape family, as I call them, for reasons we'll get into. Oh boy, will we get into them. But he's associated with them. He's distant from them until near the end of the show, where he does go back to them and, like, be a part of that family, and
Kind of gets forced into it
Yeah,
by
he gets-
Herve,
Yeah.
though.
Pulled in by
Herve,
Herve. Herve, like,
really
completely
fucks
fucks
them. Because,
his
like,
relationship.
it doesn't even seem like they're related initially because of kind of, like, how Herve's like, oh, we went to, like, uni together. And then you discover they're part of the same family. I think the family is, like,
I'm pretty sure they're
really far-
brothers.
Are they? I
No,
thought
I
they
think
were
he's
at
like
least
a third or
cousins.
second cousin.
Yeah.
Like, he's like
Because, like, he's not related to, like, Mirel or anyone else, whereas we see the uncle is her father. So, like, that's kind of that family unit, and then it seems like the others, like, I'm imagining it's like, you know, like, Chable sort of thing, where it's like you've got the branch families and all that.
This is getting into Herve, who we will get to later. We should probably focus in on the main four for a bit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because kind of it does tie back to the bodily or the kind of abuser dynamic thing, because this whole show is really about abusers and things. Because, Herve is an active abuser, where Emilio's more of a passive one, even saying, hey, I didn't go to get my blood test, I ran away. I kind of shut my eyes at the whole thing. But if we do want to talk about main characters, I really fucking liked Rachel's story.
Same. But
Oh, we're going to Rachel. It's Claire
should we do
next
Claire
on the
next?
slide.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
So Claire
It's okay.
is the archetype of Claire is she's like a tomboy. So she's poor and she's a tomboy and she doesn't really go to school and she has a part-time job to just kind of get by. She's very brash and like aggressive with people. And I like her character arc a lot. I found her the most frustrating, actually. I found her the most childish at the end of the day, even though she kind of survived the initial episodes seeming more confident. But the way you see her interact with her friends and family later on, she needed to grow up real quick.
She presents the most mature, but she's very clearly not in reality. The
Like, I
most
think
mature
her-
is probably Kate, and then maybe Rachel. But
I think
you know,
Rose is actually the most mature.
Yeah, Rose.
Yeah,
It's
agree.
just that, like, in the, fucked up situation they're in, she can't cope. But I think, like, day to day,
Yeah.
she is the one who's kind of more mature.
I know we're not on Rose's slide, but I did write that Rose's mum says, "You're not a kid anymore," which is a real bitch move, considering Rose is at most 14 and had her childhood taken away because her
think they're
dad disappeared
17.
and got
17.
hospitalized.
They're
Rose
all
is 17.
17.
yeah, they're all like 17.
They're all 17.
Yeah, they're all in the
Yeah.
same year.
There's no fucking way Rose. She looks 14.
She's just small.
Rose and Claire are pretty much two sides of the same coin. One of them presents mature and is anything but. One of them seems anything but she's really clinging to any last bit of whimsy she still has because she has to really stand up and do the best. And I think that infuriates Claire more than anything because she feels like she can't do that. Like, even the idea of the classical music that she listens to, that idea that she has to be mature, she has to be there at all times, the idea she has to strike out on her own, whereas I feel that they're kind of foils against each other in a sense.
Yeah, I think you're actually completely correct with that because there's a bit at the end where Claire sees Rose forgiving her dad for walking out on them, and Claire just doesn't understand how she could do that, and her arc is
right.
kind of forgiving her dad.
Yeah, because both Claire and Rose have absent father figures.
But we kind of discover, like, for Claire, it was on her side. Like, her father refers to her as a runaway child. Like, she left the home.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously there's a lot of, like, kind of complex feelings around that. Like, I definitely feel like it was left deliberately ambiguous how much the dad was at fault to, like, their mother's death and things like that. Like, it seems like it was more kind of he wasn't there as opposed to, like, actively. But Claire took it, like, significantly worse than her brother and, like, decided to leave the entire thing.
I also
So,
think
like-
it's really interesting that Claire basically always had her dad to fall back on if she needed it, but Rose didn't. So
Yeah.
Rose's scenario was kind of a lot worse, and I think that's why she was more mature.
Yeah, like, it was, like,
Yeah.
Claire
Necessity is
pushed
the
her
mother of invention.
family away. Rose kept them almost too close. Like,
definitely too close.
She's, like, when she can't cope, like, right in those early episodes, she's, like, borderline delusional. Like, she is focusing
She said-
solely on her two younger siblings she has to look after.
Yeah, they said something about Rose, like, not being important or something, and then she broke down.
Yeah, she
held them
freaks
both
the
really
fuck
close
out.
and said,
Like-
tell me I'm the center of your world. Tell me I am important.
Yeah. So, like, I think, like, they work really well as opposites. So then I guess, like, does that make Kate and Rachel opposite?
No, they are,
Kind-
because they're both from well-off families,
Yeah.
and they both have poor parental figures in their lives. Everyone has a shit home life, especially with their parents.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I was about to say, do we
Do
ever
I-
see Rachel's home life? But yes, we do, and it is shit.
Yeah, she's
Should
an
we
alcoholic
move
mom,
on
and the
to
dad-
Rachel then?
Yeah, go on.
Before we do, I do have a one more note. I have one more thought about Claire, and it's that her friend, Ewan, is a fucking idiot, but he means well.
He does. He's so
Ewan
lovely,
means
and
well.
she's so mean to him. He's trying really hard, but he's just not. He's not really mature enough to help Claire, or really like show his emotions in a way that would help.
But he does try his best to be there for her,
Yeah.
and he does
Like-
fuck up a lot.
But I think, like, it's kind of on Claire
just a little
most of
sweetie.
the time to, like...
It
'cause,
is
like,
on her.
when she, like, pushes
Yeah.
him away, and then it's like, why did you not come back? And it's like, girl.
So why are you ignoring me? Well, I thought you needed space.
like, you
he's
could have
so
told
nice.
him that.
And that's what makes that final... Because the second to last episode is all of them basically doing the things that they wanted to do, or like kind of
It's the
concluding
calm
their
before the
stories.
storm.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
Claire's date with Ewan is so sad, but like sweet but sad. Like she does it for him because she finally realizes that he does care for her a lot. It's after they go to Lisey's grave and all realize they do have people that care for them. And that's kind of the culmination of her arc, is that people do care for her, actually, as it turns out.
I don't want to get bogged down by this because it has the potential to be a controversial, difficult topic, but I do want to ask it. Is Claire supposed to be black?
No,
Don't
Or
think
like a
so,
person
no.
of color?
not at all.
Because I don't know, her skin
I
tone
think
is
she's
notably darker than everyone
outdoorsy.
else, but
More so, but both of her parents are, like, incredibly pale, and so's her brother. I think...
Claire
I think
like,
she's just-
blonde-haired,
I mean, her
blue-eyed, to
brother's-
the fact that I thought she might even be part of the evil faction because she's so blonde-haired,
Well-
blue-eyed.
I would
the other thing
say-
is that like Randy, her brother, wears his hair in cornrows, and I was like, is that
No,
No.
that's
Is that
because
what
he's
they're
supposed to be a
going for?
fuckhead.
yeah?
Yeah, he's a prick. That's what they're
okay.
trying to show with that.
Okay.
They do
Look-
have a black character in the show, which I think was
they
their
have
attempt.
Yeah.
they have several. They're not. None of them are really in the forefront. The closest I would say would be the assistant detective.
The
Yeah.
detective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my
Neil
gathering-
Kasdan.
my
he has a name.
Yes.
my understanding would be if they really wanted her to be specifically a woman of color, they would have really denoted that, especially since this is Studio Gonzo, which is known for doing reasonably diverse casts in this period. You know, especially with their work on, you know, like you look at some of their previous works, you know, Full Metal Panic, Last Exile, Gantz, Desert Punk.
Fair enough.
You know, even Transformers Cybertron, our worlds are in danger. To save them and the galaxy, we must find the 4 cyber planet keys before the Decepticons use them for evil. They know their diversity. So if it was
Fair
an
enough.
intense, they would have done that.
I just look. My white ass saw cornrows and noticed that Claire's skin tone is a little darker than the rest of the cast, and was like, I'm not sure about that. But it's probably nothing. It's just something that I kind of wanted to bring up in
we'll
case,
notice.
you know.
We'll talk about it more later when we talk about kind of the hair texture and the way that they portray the different characters, because it's really cool. But they do make them very distinctly different from each other. I just don't think that difference is... They're not trying to depict any of them as, like, black or anything.
Yeah,
Feel
okay,
free to cut
fair
this. I also thought Claire may have been black, or like a person of color, because her skin tone was darker, and Pan has a history of not
that was kind of
representing skin
where I was
tones.
feeling, but yeah.
I think, like, because
Anyway.
the detective was so kind of there, like, yeah, it really just read as she's, like, outdoorsy,
She's just tan.
tomboy.
She's just outdoorsy and tan.
Yeah. Like, she's more kind of like, what's it? You know, like, the fucking tomboy from Machine? Like, that kind of archetype.
Yeah, just the classic tan tomboy.
Fair enough. Shall we move on to Rachel?
Yeah, Rachel.
Rachel's a bitch.
Yeah.
Rachel's my
Rachel,
favorite
the
character.
No.
Rachel is probably my favorite character as well. The inexplicable Gyaru living in America in 2006.
I noted down, actually, about the Gyaru thing. She does start off as a Gyaru, but I think at some point they kind of worked out what that equivalent was, because by the end she's dressing a lot more like a sophisticated American teenager.
That's
But,
what I was
like,
going to
the
say. I
first
appreciate
few
that a
ones
lot.
are are so Gary. Like, she's got the leopard print, everything, like the nail glam as well.
So I love Rachel specifically because of how annoying she is at the beginning. She is the one who takes it the worst at the start because she sees one of her, or like a girl she knows, die doing this, and she loses her sense of self. Like, she stops caring about everything and becomes super depressed. And she's the first one to get, like, a proper little arc of, like, coming to terms with it. And then accepting that she does actually care about doing, you know, being a person and hanging out with her friends. And then that develops a bit later on as well. But I really like that she's very stereotypical at the start and matures so much throughout the show.
Yeah, she's great.
She matures, but she still stays not Kate. She still stays Rachel.
Yeah.
She's still herself. But I think her priorities shift. You can especially see that when she starts trying to engage with more, like, traditionally mature stuff. I think because, like, there's a lot of superficiality in the partying she was doing. Get on to if she was actually drinking later, because I couldn't tell. But it was very, like, kind of superficial, and I feel like she felt like she needed to do something more with her life. That's why she kept trying to drink coffee and read books, because she felt like she wanted to do more than just what her friends were doing.
Yeah, and that's important, I think.
She's a mega
It
bitch
does
to her
also-
friends, by the way.
I think that's kind of like how they all are, though. Like, they're very cliquey. And I was gonna say, like, I think, like, Rachel kind of had the strongest interpersonal ties, which is why she took it losing her life so hard. But equally, they were kind of the most superficial. Like, I didn't even realize she was dating Luke until, like, 2/3 of the way through the anime, because she's so apathetic.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't pick up
assumed
on
they
it.
were dating from the get-go.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were dating either.
Yeah, no, I did not think they were together. I thought he was into her and she was maybe into him, but I didn't think they were, like, an actual couple.
I also think the way that the group just swaps around relationships is very teenagery. Like, there's a girl who's into Luke, and then that stuff happens with them, and there's a guy who's into her, and the second she's not with Luke, the guy makes his move. It's very suckle of dating.
Yeah, like, it's very, like,
Do we
childish.
talk about Luke?
Let's
I think we
talk
should talk
about
about Luke.
Luke. Fuck Luke. Worst guy
we
in
hate
this
Luke.
show. Worse than her. Wow. Is Luke worse or is Herve
Second after
worse?
Herve and... Okay, third after
Herve's
Herve and
worse.
Dr. Bender.
Fuck Dr.
Yeah,
Bender.
okay. Fuck Dr. Bender. But, like, of the people who aren't out-and-out villains in the show,
Like,
Luke is the worst.
Like, part of the reason I didn't get they were dating was because he does not give a shit about her. Like, she's, like, super depressed, like, you know, freaking out, like her personality has changed a lot. She's clearly gone through something. And he's like, oh, you want to
Her
come to this
friend
party?
died.
With, like, me and these other guys and girls, and she's like, oh, I'm not really feeling it. And it takes him, like, 12 fucking episodes to think of any other thing they could do together than go to whatever party is happening.
He also just accuses her of cheating on him all the time.
Yeah.
It kind of goes to
Course and I
show.
were talking about this the other day. She said something about Luke not really being there for, like, emotional parts of the relationship and just being there to party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seems to only really care about, like, going to parties, hanging out with his friends, having a good time. And the whole time he is ignoring that his girlfriend, who he is dating, is fucking going through it. I know he doesn't know that she died and is now a zombie walking around. But, like, something is very clearly wrong with her, and he is not giving her the time. And yes, Rachel's not perfect. She's causing a lot of her own problems here, but look after your fucking girlfriend, cunt. Sorry.
What makes it worse, I feel, is that the subtext made... I felt the subtext made it very clear that they never mention it outright, but the way that their relationship, the way they talk about having fun, it makes it imply that it's a rather sexual relationship. And when she starts getting distant, that's why he jumps to the conclusion of cheating, because, you know, that's been cut out of his life. And again, I think it kind of... And again, when you have flashbacks to the first big fight that they have, it's framed in a very sexually assaulty way as well. And I felt that was a very deliberate choice. And I feel, again, this comes back into the whole thing of autonomy and self-determination, especially in her case, bodily autonomy. Like, one of the things... There's a line where she says, I can't spend time with him because he'll know something is different. He'll know my body is different. And...
Oh, shit, true.
Yeah, she said that she can't have sex with them.
Yeah. And I feel... I mean, that's not even subtext. That's just text. And I feel that... I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but it felt like the way that she died and came back was a bit of a sexual assault allegory where I can't do this again. I need to, space, and I need this. And he's just badgering her because he's immature and he doesn't know better. And it kind of goes to show a lot of abusers don't, because he is an abuser. Like, he flat out is. But the thing is, he doesn't know he is. He doesn't know that. And that doesn't make it right, but that, in fact, if anything, it makes it kind of more messed up because he's too immature to know just how horrible he's being and the pain and anguish he's being called. He can't even conceive of it. I don't know. I just felt that was,
There's a scene later on in the show where he, confronts her in the library, and you watch her say stuff to him and explain herself, and he takes none of it in. It literally goes in one ear and out the other, and it's so frustrating to watch. Very well written, but very frustrating to watch because he just is not listening to her.
Yeah, this show depicts messy people, and that's not going to be for everyone. I know a lot of modern shows, anime and otherwise, tend to sanitize where it's a bit more black and white with its protagonists and antagonists specifically. This show does not do that, and it's a bit of a breath of fresh air because... not a lot of modern shows do that. I don't know. I'm repeating myself.
It's okay.
I wrote down in my notes that the fight they have in the hallway, where Luke accuses Rachel of cheating on him. Okay, I felt like abuse because they fight, and then he chases after her, and she's crying and upset, and he says, "I don't know what's wrong with me. I always do this."
Yeah, I hated that.
And it's like, that's abuse.
Why did he... he just, you can't yell at someone and accuse them of, cheating on you and then be like, oh, sorry about that, and then they just go on a date. I feel like...
oh, sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm always like this. And feeling immediately guilty afterwards, that feels like a form of manipulation.
I think he just is a shitty teenager for the most part, or at least I think that was how I interpreted it. And unaware of his emotions.
Yeah, they're naive and don't know how to act, and also kind of, I think, importantly, none of them kind of have role models to kind of emulate positive romantic relationships, so we don't really know anything about Luke's family. But
they
for
have
Rachel,
Mulder and JC.
Yeah.
No, they do not.
But Rachel's mum is an alcoholic and her dad is always away, but her mum desperately clings to him and the concept of him. So I wouldn't be surprised if she just kind of thinks the way Luke acts is normal. It sucks and she doesn't like it, but we see her relationship with the teacher, and it's weird. I'll give you that, but that is the first time a kind of man has been nice to her, basically,
and listened to her. I think that's why she attached to him so quickly. I'm so happy that they nothing happened there. He was just happily married and was being a teacher, and I appreciate that a lot.
I was
just
so
weird.
It was weird.
I was so worried it was grooming because, oh my god, some of the stuff, it's that is pushing boundaries of a student-teacher relationship, and that is all that grooming is about. It's pushing boundaries and eroding those away, and it's oh my god, is he going to be doing that? Thankfully, he didn't.
In fairness, anime does tend to push a lot of these kinds of stories very, very commonly. We just got an SAO movie where the main villain was a tutor that did that and then wanted to abuse and almost murder the woman and then wanted her to marry her afterwards. Yes, that is a fucking thing, and the movie costs $110.
Yeah, I was about to say, sure, that movie exists, but it's not like anyone's going to watch it. Who's paying $110
It's
to
sort
watch
of
an
online.
SAO movie?
It's $110. Someone will.
In the UK, for example, teachers spending time with kids outside of school is very looked down upon, whereas in Japan, I think it's a lot more acceptable. And I think that's why a lot of these like stories come from the fact that you can spend time with your teacher outside of school. In fact, that's kind of encouraged. The teachers have to look out for the kids, even when they're not there.
Because I was going to say, like, there was all that drama around Nakamura-kun. Like, I think, like, this is, like, another kind of Japanese social thing seeping in. Because, like, also, like, it was just, like, it was in public, first of all. And, like, she just kind of ran into him in a coffee shop and decided to, like, stop and chat, basically.
No,
and then when she knew he
was
there, it was more deliberate.
They ran into each other outside, and then he invited her to get a drink. But yeah.
Yeah, like, it wasn't, like, so specific. Like, it definitely felt coincidental, and then it kind of stayed feeling coincidental. Like, she knew she could probably find him there. And, like, we see she's potentially been going there on her own as well, because at the end, like, one of the things she does is successfully drinks a cup of black coffee, which I thought was, like, a really interesting way to show, like, maturity.
There's also a scene that when she's, like, distressed, she goes to the coffee shop even when it's closed. To just kind of, like, look for that. Yeah, parental support, I think.
I found that one of the really good metaphors was when her and Rose were having coffee, she had a really sugary sweet one, and Rose ended up having a really, like she said, oh yeah, I just take my coffee black with no sugar. And the two of them are just kind of like completely at opposite of what the stereotype or the trope in the anime would kind of work with. And that's kind of showing the hints before it becomes a lot stronger about how there's more to their levels of maturity than you might think.
I didn't pick up on that.
Shall we move on to Rose on that, or is there anything anyone else wants to say on Rachel?
I do have one last thing to say about Luke.
Right, yeah.
They go on a date, and then Rachel leaves early, and then that's when Luke cheats on her.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he still accuses her of cheating.
The girl that he cheats on Rachel with is such
Amanda, is it?
Amanda.
Yeah.
She
Amanda.
sucks.
And
she's so angry at Rachel for being angry at her for sleeping with her boyfriend. Like, I just never got her angle, aside from the fact that she was in love with Luke.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a, like, you have what I want. And, like, you know, Rachel says that to her face. It's like,
Yeah,
you
I was
know,
gonna bring
you
that up.
can't, like, copy me anymore, which was interesting.
I thought Rachel's friends sucked. I do think that was very well done. Like, they weren't really friends at the end of the day.
No.
They just
I also
partied
feel
together.
like they might have been of similar social status, looking at some of the parties they were going to. So I wonder if that was part of it. Like, you know, they were all buying, like, the same expensive clothes and makeup. Like, I think, like, that's kind of the sole reason they were together, was because, like, it was socially acceptable.
Speaking of the parties, were they drinking? Because I thought they
it was
were,
champagne or something.
And then at the end, like one of the last parties she goes to, the guy's like, do you want another drink? And she goes, yeah, I want a beer. And he's like, what? So then I was like, are they actually... Because obviously they're too young to drink, but they're out in, like, restaurants and bars and shit somehow, and clubs. So that... I never understood truly if they were, like, partying and drinking and stuff, or if they were doing kind of a teenager... You know, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer teenage bar.
Yeah, all ages club.
It may be one of those things where the writers didn't understand kind of a lot of the culture and thing. I don't know how common underage drinking is in Japan. I'd imagine it's less common than it is in the States, and they may have not realized that, if I had to hazard a guess.
No, because there's a line where Claire's talking to her dad, and he's like, oh, we should go out for a meal, and she suggests Italian food. And her dad's like, oh, but you can't drink wine yet, which was interesting.
It's interesting.
I think Rachel definitely is partaking in underage drinking at house parties that look like bars and stuff.
The problem is, though,
Not
like,
a
they never
single red
seem
solo cup.
drunk.
That's what I was saying! That's the first time we saw a party. I was like, where are the red solo cups?
And also, like, Rachel quite early on has quite a visceral reaction to finding a bottle of whiskey that her mum's drunk. Like, that was a really interesting scene. So she sees it in a bin, takes it out and puts it on the counter. And then I think we see later that, like, no, she puts, like, a flower in it. She uses it as a vase.
Yeah, she puts flowers in it.
But then later her mum has it on the table, which is interesting. Like, to me, it felt like a very kind of non-verbal acknowledgement. So Rachel is saying she's aware of her mum's problem, and then her mum is kind of accepting that awareness, like, by kind of taking it.
That's interesting.
But that's why I think she wouldn't drink, you know? Because she doesn't also like her mum drinking.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was intended to be vague, but I also wonder if they were pulling on, like, early 2000s American, like, teenage things where they're all doing, you know, kind of... I can't think of a single show at the moment.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
where they're like out partying frequently, and I wonder if that's what they were pulling on for her character.
Oh god, I think Shadow Hunters as well. They go to an all ages club, which is, I don't think, a thing.
I don't know. I've never been to. No, that's a lie. I have been to America.
When I was 17, I went to a club that was doing like a specific under 18 thing. But I don't think that's common.
Yeah. Anyway, Rose.
Rose, yes.
I kept accidentally writing Rose's name as Ruby.
Actually, that's like something as well. Like, so even though they're all kind of like English names, I could not recall anyone's name for like most of the anime. Like, I just never got it. And I always like think it's like, oh, it's because like they're Japanese, so like I don't have the association. No, I'm just bad with names, it turns out.
I do love their surnames though. Rose's last name is Sheedy, which sure,
which is not a name.
Sure,
Sheedy's nuts.
You say it's not a name. Someone in the comments is gonna go, I'm sorry, my surname's Sheedy, and it's a very popular surname in bumfuck Texas or wherever.
But
I'm sure Sheedy is a real surname. Yeah, Rose.
It's Irish.
Is it?
Yeah.
She did have red hair. I don't know if that was their intent.
Yeah, apparently, like, a lot of the name is popular in America because of Irish immigration.
It's a real name?
Apparently.
She's Irish?
Like 20th
or Irish American,
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rose is a good character. Her biggest problem is tied to a part of the show that we've barely talked about, which is the horror aspects of it, the fighting.
The horrors.
The horrors.
She's pretty useless for most of the show. I think she maybe actually attacks one of the dogmen one time.
No, there's the finale as well.
Oh, true, the finale.
Yeah, but that's after she's had her character arc for, like, the first 15-odd episodes of this 22-episode series, so, like, a good chunk of it. Whenever they are fighting the dogmen, Rose is sat in the corner crying, and I get it. Like, that's realistic. I'm not trying to be a dick to Rose. But also... I put a meme on the slide, which is just the come on, do something meme, and that's just it. Like, she does nothing through most of the fights in this show, and it gets kind of frustrating.
I think it's because of her maturity with her family. Like, she can't risk leaving them alone. She's the sole caretaker of her siblings, so she just never really wanted to be at the fights. It took till, like episode 15 or something, when Rachel gets injured protecting her, that she feels like she has to do something for them because, she's, like, disassociating so hard.
I think also, like, it's kind of a case of, like, she's sort of, you know, spec'd all of her points into being a mother figure. So kind of anything outside of that, she just does not have the mental capacity for it. Like, we see she's, like, shopping and, like, you know, taking the kids to, like, daycare. Like, it makes so much sense, but she's so fucking annoying because of it, and it feels really bad.
Unfortunately, beating a man to death with sticks is not part of
a good parent
being a mother.
Oh, speaking of beating men to sticks,
into sticks.
I don't know if I'm gonna
beating men to sticks
to death with sticks. Sorry. I don't know if I'm gonna find a better place to put this in. Alex, I'll fucking forget. Herve calls the main four girls like cruel for beating the men to death with sticks.
Yeah.
When like that's what his family does, and they use smaller sticks.
No, they start with baseball bats. So, again, this is actual plot stuff. So the dogmen are from this one family, and the family is aware of them and trying to like keep on top of it, and like they do like blood tests and things to like see if they're gonna turn. But then their sole way of dealing with it is to have like 10 guys come into the room and beat the person to death with sticks. And they
Which is,
never
by the way,
evolve past
particularly
that.
horrifying when it's the younger characters that it happens to.
Like,
Yeah.
they have
Like,
no other tactics.
think-
Like, is this like the only thing they're like weak to? Is a
And we
baseball
know they have
bat?
knives because they stab people later.
But not the people who turn.
Surely they'd make a device or something that
We
just
have,
like
like,
kills them quickly.
Lethal
Like a head
injection.
You mean like a
lethal
gun?
injection,
Yeah.
a
You mean like
headdress that shocks them.
A
Anything.
gun? A gun?
We are
got
in
a fucking
America. They
gun?
have guns.
One of
Like,
those
other
cattle
people
rods
get
where it
shot.
fires a bullet into the brain.
But no, like they
You mean
just
a hand
come
cannon?
in. And like, because like one of like the tragic backstories is they do it to Herve's mother, and like he watches them like beat her to death with baseball bats. And then when we see them
I don't
later,
even think
they've
it's baseball
kind of
bats.
just
It's-
upgraded to like truncheons. And that's the only
Telescopic
evolution.
metal sticks.
keep in mind, spoilers, they murder the detective, so they have guns.
Yeah,
they
they
just don't
shoot
use them.
several people. They just don't shoot them. So like,
In
are they, like,
fairness-
Because
immune to
every shot is a
bullets?
headshot. So they're good at it.
In fairness, they never say it, but I reckon it's something like, oh, the bodies when they become feral become bulletproof. So, like, there's nothing. It's the actual. It's stronger for them to use their bare fists and do things with their more powerful bodies.
Because like that's what
That
the
wasn't-
girls
but
do
then
as
again,
well. Is they beat
Yeah.
them with like
That's
iron
my
pipes.
Sticks.
But the thing is, they don't actually say that. They don't actually say
Yeah.
it. So it could be canon. It could be something else.
Like
I
maybe
don't
they're
know.
just weak to bludgeoning damage. Because like when again actual plot stuff, Harvey like kills his sister. He just fucking like crushes her in his arms.
Yeah.
And then she fucking wakes up from it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, is the, like, actual solution to just kind of beat the sense back into them?
I'm excited to get to that
We
scene
are-
when we talk about Herve, because he is... It's like such a perfect end for him.
Yeah,
I was
we are
so
miles
happy.
from Rose, though. We need to get back
Yeah.
to Rose.
We need to go back.
I think the ending for Rose was very cute. Like, in the background for, like, the second half of the show, so it's, like, quite a long time she's looking for her dad. Specifically because she wants someone to be there to look after her siblings when she's gone. And I think that was very emotionally resonant, and him turning up on Christmas Day with presents after they stayed up all night waiting for him, so cute.
Incredibly cute. Also heartbreaking because you know where that shit's going with Rose. You know that.
Like, she's not coming back, but, like, she did
Or
get what
if
she
she
wanted.
did go back, she was not coming back the same. We'll get to
Yeah.
it.
So,
Yeah.
like, that, like, actually made me well up a bit.
Like, I think all of that final Christmas Day was so well done, that second last
It
episode.
also, like, specifically read to me so kind of heavily as, like, a suicide allegory, which is functionally what was happening. Like,
Yeah.
they all kind of, you know, got rid of everything, like, kind of said goodbye to everyone who mattered to them to go on this final mission where they knew they weren't coming back. And I
There
thought
was
that
something
was, like,
about them-
really effective.
Yeah, there was something about them packing bags that they were never going to use, and writing cards that they could never use. That, oh, it's so sad.
Rose is good. I really like Rose because she's kind of heartbreaking in a lot of ways because she's definitely been like parentified. She's had to go through parentification. Not good, but her mum is ill. Her dad's out of the picture. She's looking after her two kind of shithead siblings.
They really are.
I know.
They're not shitheads. They're just young.
I know that they're young, but also they are kind of shitheads.
I mean,
Like-
they weren't really raised is the problem. Also, like,
Yeah.
you know, on the topic of Rose's family, was her dad in debt to the mob? Because, like,
I think he must have been,
Implication I
right?
got.
that's what that was, right? Like, he moved away after he lost his job, so the mob didn't go for the family. Like, that was how I interpreted that.
Yes. Here's the thing. Before he showed up, I was certain that the reveal was gonna be, oh yeah, he got dogmanified before the start of the show.
I thought it was going to be, oh, his wife killed him and buried him in the backyard, and she just didn't tell anyone. No, he's fine.
I definitely think, like, that was another almost Japanese element. The, like, shame. Like, you just leave, you don't go back, you don't expect help. I'm thinking specifically
Yeah.
of, like, you know, like, Japanese homelessness crises. Where
Tokyo
it's like,
Godfathers.
Yeah, like, it's
Yeah.
entirely social that you think you can't go back. And I'm sure it happens in, like, other places. But to me, that, like, read as kind of relatively uniquely Japanese, not American. Like, I thought he was going to have a second family, to be honest.
Yeah.
He was sending money to them as well.
But only recently. Not
Yeah,
the whole
is it because of the mum's medical bills, maybe?
Maybe? But she seemed
got
to get
hospitalized
sick almost
pretty
immediately.
soon. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he left, she couldn't cope, and fell back into her mysterious sickness that was never named.
Can we talk about Rose's friend, who I didn't like that much?
Sarah.
the
Wendy?
one that was helping
The one that was helping her.
to,
Sarah, you're thinking of the fast food chain.
She was very
didn't like
forceful
her?
with Rose. I really felt like she was kind of maintaining this, like, we're friends at the bottom of the food chain, like, dynamic, and she was helping her a lot, but something about it, I didn't like the way she kind of engaged with Rose, and, like, she wasn't super, like, happy when Rose hung out with other people. I don't know.
No.
It was weird vibes.
I don't think we saw enough of her for me to get a vibe check on her personally.
That's fair.
yeah.
I think, like, because, like, I didn't think she knew about Rose's home life from the way she acted. Like, she didn't seem to be aware of how much responsibility was on Rose. Like, it seemed like she got to know her more through trying to find her dad with her. But, yeah, I didn't get, like, great vibes from their relationship.
I mean, she is the one who initiated saying, hey, let's go find your dad.
Yeah.
But this is a
Yeah.
very specific thing, but it almost read to me as, like, the white kid telling the black kid to just, like, yell back at the parent. Like, we can do this. And Rose is like, I don't know if we should do this. Like, this is not... And she's like, she kind of forced her into it, and it ended up being good. But, yeah, she was very forceful.
Yeah.
Don't forget, sorry, brain fart. Don't forget that Kate, early on in the show, basically really handles the whole relationship with Rose very poorly. Like saying, hey, we killed them. The body died. Hey, we are going to die. And Rose is just like, please stop. I need a fucking minute. And it just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. And it's kind of a scene where nobody is right. Everybody is fucked in this situation. Although I think they tried to portray Rose as more in the wrong in that one, but it's just a situation where no one's really emotionally mature.
In the beginning of the show, she was definitely heavily in denial about things. And she's like, we don't talk about this.
I think that's one of the things I love the most about this show is that the girls, the main characters, are incredibly immature because they're all teenagers, and so are the rest of the teenage casts. But the adults are very competent. Whether that be to do evil or to do good and nice things, they're really competent at it, and they're much more mature. And I liked that a lot, because sometimes in teenage stuff, the adults are either non-existent or they kind of behave the same. And I appreciated that they had a level of, like, not being a teenager.
Yeah.
I do have one last thing to say about Rose, which is, I wrote in my notes, she doesn't look like a person.
Aww.
There's something about her face that feels like human adjacent.
It's like looking at a dog and trying to describe a dog, but you've never, to someone that's never seen a dog before.
I also have something to say. I kind of wish I had watched the dub for this show because I felt that Rose was miscast. I fucking hated her voice. I thought it was as annoying as shit and really grating. It grew on me towards the end, but especially in those old things, she just sounded like a child. And like looking at a lot of her roles, she plays a lot of really young child characters, but it just seems a whole lot younger anime skewed than the rest of the cast of the show. The rest of the cast of the show seem more down to earth, and then she's just like, I'm an anime girl, I'm doing my thing. And like, the writing is not this kind of writing. It just feels like just the wrong part for the role. I felt a softer tone probably would have been better. Maybe that's just me, and maybe the dub is better. I don't know.
It isn't.
Well, there is a reason that you shouldn't watch the dub, and it's something that I kind of wanted to circle back to.
And, well, I'll just so we started with the dub because I was like, I want to hear the American accents out of the American characters. They cut the singing. They cut all the singing, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Good.
This is a musical, by the way, for all of about 5 seconds before it forgets it's a musical.
I thought it was out of place and pointless.
I thought it was fun. They weren't great songs, but I thought it was fun.
They were not great songs, and they gave up after, like, episode 9.
See, I don't watch a lot of musicals, but the ones I really like are the Wicked duology, because that's really important to my partner and I, and fucking Blues Brothers, which is the best musical of all time, Fight Me. Also, I've seen the Matilda musical at Broadway in New York, Fight Me. But basically...
Why would we fight you when you're right about the Blues Brothers?
But no... Basically, the thing is, musicals are supposed to be at the height of an emotional catharsis. They're like, I am so emotional that I have to sing. It doesn't have to be crazy. Things don't have to be bouncing off the walls, but there has to be a reason to have a song there. Whereas this one just kind of seemed like, oh, well, we have subtext, but let's just say everything the subtext has in text form in a song in case everybody didn't realize it.
The two main ones I liked were in the first episode when Kate's singing about Lise and how much she was in love with her, basically, and how sad she is that she's dead. That worked really well. And then the scene where they're all having terrible hot pot because Claire has no gas. I thought that worked really well. Every other song I've forgotten, so I can't remember what happens.
I liked how in the confession scene where Paula says to Kate, "Hey, I love you." The backing track for it was an instrumental of one of those musical numbers.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
I didn't notice that.
Huh. I probably didn't notice because I started fast-forwarding them.
No. Look, if you want a good musical about dead people coming to terms with their issues and the problems in their life, Has Been Hotel is right there. Like, I'm sorry. Just while we're on the subject of music, before we move on to the characters who are maybe more related to, like, the plot than the main four, which is weird to say. Normally the main characters are related to the plot. But really not in this show. I did just want to hit on the OP and the two EDs, all of which I liked, to be clear.
They were very fun.
I love the OP. I think it's perfect. Rock de LMC, however...
Rock the LMC is a great song. The ED is cracked.
The ED is an AMV. The ED is literally a professional AMV.
It's not an AMV, it's YouTube poop.
It's not a good
dancing
AMV.
together, even though they're at war.
Have you ever seen... There's an AMV called How to Make a Shitty AMV, and this seems like one of those AMVs. I don't know.
I just loved that it would be like this emotional resonant scene, and then the episode would end, and then you would just get rock
the LMC.
I couldn't get out of my
I think
head
you said
for
it felt
ages.
like a punchline.
I said in the slide deck, it feels like a punchline more than it feels like a. It just breaks the tone. I love the song. I'm not going to compare. Maybe top 10 anime. No, not top 10. Top 50 anime endings for me. But like,
But I just
God,
wanted to
it's
say,
such a choice.
The reason they're saying that though is the band's name is LMC. They're saying their own names and introducing themselves like at the end
it's
of
a DJ
every
Khaled.
episode. Yeah, Jason Derulo. But also, actually, LMC did both endings,
Yeah.
Oh.
which was
So what
interesting.
you're
ending
saying
is-
is, so what you're
Well, we
saying
knew
is,
who they
this
were
is,
by that time, so they didn't have to introduce themselves.
so what you're saying is, it's the equivalent of DJ Khaled.
Yes. I think that the second ED is better, even though the delivery on the poetry monologue at the start of it is something.
No,
I
it's
liked it.
fun. I like it.
By the way, on the topic of OPs and EDs, Mary and Kiwi, did
Yeah.
you two watch the dubbed version or the sub version?
The sub version, once we saw that
Which-
the dub was
which-
changing stuff.
Which version did you watch specifically? Like,
Is
did you
that-
watch the fan sub or did you watch like an official
Right,
rip?
yes,
Considering,
the OP.
considering
don't
we
know.
had the OP was good the whole time, like it was fully animated the whole time, I think we watched the official one.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I reckon because they updated the OP halfway through, and I reckon they retroactively. So obviously in the broadcast version, there were two versions of the OP with the same song, and the difference is they finally figured out how to properly chroma key animations instead of just moving JPEGs. And I reckon that with Mary and Kiwi, with the official one, they just went back and added that for the whole thing.
Yeah.
But with us watching
Yeah,
think
I'm
so,
assuming
yeah.
it was a DVD rip.
Oh yeah, then in that case, yeah. I think we were watching the broadcast rip, which is why there were so many changes midway with all of the naming and such.
And
that-
occasionally there was like the TV Asahi
okay.
icon.
That's what we had
この番組は
with
グランドスポンサー
fucking
をお送りします。
Tagainu no Chi, and it would just start advertising the Doka at the end.
But yeah, we watched two different versions, and I thought that was actually pretty cool to see just how they went back and updated it when they finally said, oh, that's how keying works. Oh, we can actually animate this now. Oh, okay, because this anime does experiment a little bit with 3D and keying and stuff. It's another
I
one
mean,
of those
I'm
early
assuming
2000s,
it was more that they
yeah.
were pressed for time and budget.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe.
I don't think they were too stupid to work out how to do a technique.
Not stupid. This was 2006 to 2007, so they were sort of switching over from cell to digital at this point, right?
Yeah.
And I reckon
I
they
think
were
the switch had already really happened.
Yeah.
It was also important to know this is an anime original, so I wonder if it had a smaller budget.
I don't
Yeah.
care
Yeah.
what Wikipedia
pre-existing
says. This was
backing.
an anime original. I don't care that the manga started serializing
It was
the
like a
same day
simul
the
thing.
first episode happens.
Yeah.
Like
It's
an
also,
original anime.
So I skimmed the manga. It only really covers the first couple of episodes anyway. It was definitely a tie-in thing.
Also,
But,
they
yeah.
had the manga serialized in a seinen magazine, and while I get that, I feel like I should have gone into a Josei one.
Yeah, this is very
It is
Josei.
also weirdly different. Like a lot of the like outfits they wear specifically are different in the manga. So I wonder if like that changed at some point during production, or if like the artists wanted to do their own thing. But yeah, like I think like to me like that opening shift, which I wasn't aware of at the time, would definitely have been budgets, because it's very common, especially for like Blu-ray releases, for them to go back and reanimate bits that were kind of done a bit cheaper or quicker.
Zom 100 did
yeah.
that too, where the opening got updated when they had the time, basically.
Yeah.
JoJo's known for doing that quite a lot, where they go back and they redo a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, that actually reminds me. Herve's voiced by Dio. Did I mention that earlier? I might have mentioned that earlier.
I don't think you mentioned it
on
on the podcast, but yeah.
I picked up. I kind of pick up with voice actors sharing quite a bit, and I'm like, shit, that's fucking Dio. Not as mastermindy as Dio, but definitely Dio.
Oh my god, Gonzo also did pumpkin scissors? I didn't know that. I love pumpkin scissors.
Gonzo did a lot of really cool kind of original or Western-centric or kind of dark and brooding shows in the 2000s. And now they do NFT adaptations.
Oh, great. I can't find his name, but the guy who, like, one of the lead creators on Red Garden was also one of the lead people on Afro Samurai. I said the wrong one.
Oh, that makes sense, actually. That makes a lot of sense.
There's a Virtue's Last Reward OVA?
Yes, there is.
I need it.
Hi, Uchikoshi. Shall we get into the characters and, like, the plot of the show that's a little more, like, centered on the actual behind-the-scenes plot stuff, so that we can get to an end and then talk about what we're really all here to talk about.
We've been recording for an hour.
Let's talk about the girl who got the worst treatment in the entire show.
Oh.
And the fifth of the main cast.
Kind of.
Lise. I kind of.
Yeah. Lise is also dead. She was also dead at the same time as the other four. They all died in the same place at around the same time for slightly unclear reasons. Like, I get who killed them. I'm not super clear on why.
Killed them.
Yeah, how they killed them.
Was bringing people to basically be the incubators, like it was for that thing.
Or like,
And then the other four turned up looking for her, so they just killed them too.
Yeah. Point is, Lise also died. However, unlike the other four who were able to be revived by the organization who are called the Animus, Lise was revived but then captured by the Dorals, who are the villains of the show, and she spends...
Is it Doral? I thought it was Delore.
It always sounded like they were saying Doral. And that's what the text said. Maybe I'm wrong.
I swear it means something in Latin and I can't remember what.
While you search it up, should we talk about Lise?
Grief.
Yeah, Lise.
It's the Latin for grief. And Animus is, I want to say, spirit. So there was definitely...
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's called that in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, so, like, they are the people who animate corpses and then the people who grieve the corpses.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Like, I don't understand what Herve's plan was, because he just murdered 5 girls and expected them to get brought back to life by the Animus.
No, so I think... See, that's the one bit that I never really truly got with the show, was, like, what their fucking plan was.
I think I got it. Because Lisa, she was pretty much kidnapped. Because don't forget... Herve was dating her in an effort to try and bring her into the organization and kidnap her and do experiments on her, which is why she was in that really fucked up pool, because they were experimenting on her. And the 4 others going after her were simply there by happenstance. They weren't meant to be there. So they're basically, fuck these people, we're going to kill them and get going. So they basically kill them, and then the Animus go there and they try to save them. Like, shit, we can use these people to our advantage. But what ends up happening as a result of that is they take her and Lisa out of the building. They kind of get all of them. So, of course, they're only going to go after Lisa because it's like, oh, well, she's the most important. She's the one we need to get back to continue the experiments on. And then the rest is like, whatever. We'll kill them at some other point when they get revived. Because don't forget, their numbers are very, very small at this point.
But I don't know how they're transforming people, because the Animus is the one that has the ability to turn them into zombies, basically.
So were they like trying
zombies.
to like lure them into doing the reanimation?
I guess,
No,
because I don't think Lise was reanimated when she died. Like when they found her in the bathtub, I think that was an actual corpse.
Yeah,
don't.
but then they got
I think
rid
she was
of her body, so she also got one of the new bodies.
Yeah, because
Because that's how they found her corpse.
I
'Cause they
don't
dumped
think
it.
she was. I think she was a failed experiment, and they were just trying to dispose of her. And then she was like, "Oh, well, she's not failed. Okay, well, we might as well get her back then."
No,
That's
because
kind of what I was thinking.
it was Animus who dumped her body.
Yeah.
Because they
After
already
she got
recovered
kidnapped.
so they recovered
No,
the
they-
bodies as part of the reanimation or like putting them in new bodies or whatever.
Didn't they say they only dumped her body because the new body was recovered, and they're like, oh, well, they've recovered her, so we might as well dump the body.
Yeah, Dorals stole the new body while it was in transit to be put like back at her house, like they did with the other characters. Like the first scene of the first episode is the Animus group taking the revived bodies of the 5 back to their houses so they can wake up and it's not a problem and no one questions anything. But
I think I might not be explaining myself well. So basically, they kidnap Lisa and
the Dorals kidnap Lisa.
Yeah, the Dorals kidnap Lisa, experiment on her, she dies. Oh shit, well, we'll just dispose of that. Oh shit, there's 4 random people here. Kill them too. Oh
I don't
shit,
think
now
they
someone stole
experimented
all of the...
on Lisa. I think that was the day. Like, I think Herve took her to the house, and then they killed her, and then the main cast turned up. I don't think they were doing experiments before that.
But then after they're like... But then they're like, oh shit, she's alive. Okay, well, we'll just grab her back and take her to experiment on her. And so they do that, and then the Animus is like, fuck, we've lost her. Okay, throw the original body away.
No, I think I know what it is. I think that what it is that the Dorals knew that the Animus were looking to recruit more people in, and to recruit more people they need dead bodies who they can then, revive, or people who are just dead who they can revive. So they kidnap Lise, kill her, so that the Animus will show up at the mansion, which they do in the flashback. We see them do this. Take the body and revive it, and then the Dorals can hijack the car and get the body so they can start experimenting on the revived body so that they can have one of those. I think that was the plan.
Makes sense.
We know they can't make them. Like, they outright say they don't understand how they do it and they don't have that technology.
Yeah. Okay,
I actually
so
like that as well, because the Animus had a lot of girls, and I like the idea that they were being basically killed off in an attempt to get one of these girls, and then Animus kept taking them and keeping them safe.
Yeah. Anyway, that's Lise. She gets kidnapped. We kind of flew into somewhere else with her.
Yeah, the kind of idea that the I've already forgotten what they're called. Dolores?
Dolores. Sorry.
Whatever. the bad guys. Their whole plan is because their family is losing all of their women. So they have a curse on the family where women at a pretty young age will transform into the dog beasts, and then they have to be beaten to death for some reason.
Have you ever played Bloodborne?
Yeah. And they only have two girls left, and they're both 13, and they're trying to cure them, but they've kind of given up.
I was about to say, are they trying to cure them?
Yeah.
Maybe they were.
Herve thinks they are.
Yeah.
They were
so
up
their new
until
plan
they got
is to take one of these transformed girls and basically inject them with blood so they become at least in part of the family, and then have the new girl have babies to keep them alive. I think that's the plan that they came up with.
Really fucked up, because they also load her full of memory suppressants so she doesn't know who she is.
Yeah.
And the second she starts to remember, they dose her up again.
Yeah, it's really fucked.
They want a womb, basically. Also, there's a line where they're like, oh, we've confirmed she can carry our children, and I don't like the implications of that.
No.
What did they do?
The best assumption that gives is they harvested an egg and tested. But that's still fucked up.
Yeah. They
and
are...
then,
it's also, actually, I was thinking about it. So, it seems like the women die, younger? Is that supposed to be more kind of, a precocious puberty thing?
They explicitly state that women awaken earlier, which is becoming Dogman.
Yeah, because, girls go through puberty earlier than guys, but also precocious puberty often occurs due to sexual assault. So I wonder if in their kind of efforts to keep the lineage going, they've been kind of fucking themselves and dooming these girls because it's very obvious they don't actually care about them.
I'm starting
Yeah.
to realize what this show is an allegory for.
I mean,
it's-
immediately I thought it was puberty.
Yeah.
Because, like, for a start, Red Garden.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. But also, like, their bodies are new and different, and they don't understand them, and they feel wrong. Like, it's very puberty coded.
Do you think it's kind of like a new puberty into adulthood style thing?
Yeah, potentially.
I also think this is kind of, we can talk about it more later, but the villains of the show are an almost entirely male clan, and the good guys, in quotation marks,
In
because
quotes.
they got some dodgy stuff with them, are almost entirely women. And I wonder, I feel like I need to think on it more. What do you think about it?
I think it's interesting
I
because
think
we
that was
know
very intentional.
they have women, the Delore, because we see them. And we know they don't really care for them outside of their roles of being women. And then
No, like, Dr.
with the-
Bender refers to them as their last two females.
Yeah, so, like,
Anyone who
They-
uses the word females should be put on a watch.
yeah.
Yes. Like-
So, like, they prioritize the men at the, like, sake of the
they-
women. But we know that JC is part of the Animus, because he's
Yes.
Lula's brother. So did they in turn only prize the women and they only give the Animus to women? Because I think Lula and JC
Only
are
women
people.
can be transformed.
Yeah.
But men can turn into dogs, but then JC bled out, like he didn't turn to dust, so he wasn't,
No.
like,
No, he
powered.
wasn't. He
But
wasn't.
he
He
had
wasn't reanimated because
power.
they don't. They can't bring men back to life like that. Is what they said.
So, like, I feel like there's, like, kind of that juxtaposition there, like, that you were kind of trying to, like, think on, where it's, like, they're kind of prioritizing different genders, but then
Yeah.
equally, I feel like it's, like, because, like, the whole thing is it's a curse, right? So it's magical.
Or something, yeah.
But I also wonder how much of it is informed by their social approaches. So, like I was saying, like, did the Delore kind of fuck themselves by hyper-focusing on men? And then in exchange, did the Animus kind of fuck themselves by only focusing on women?
Maybe.
It could be that Animus stopped being a family and started being a faction because I think all the actual Animus got turned into dolls.
I think they might have just been kind of insane from age.
That's what I was thinking as well. Like, they were just so tired of living that they didn't have the will to move. And they were literally just communicating telepathically because they didn't want to move their bodies. They were like, I'm just so sick of living. Please just let us die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I
I'd like to
think
hear my
they
crazy
ended
curse
up...
conspiracy.
Go
Yeah.
on.
So, Animus, the women in Animus never die, and the women in Dolores die young. My crackpot conspiracy is that the curse was that Animus's women harvested the life force of the women in Dolores, and that's how they maintained their immortality. I don't think it's real, but that's my conspiracy.
Yeah, that's an interesting conspiracy. Shall we hit Herve quickly so we can then wrap up the show? Because he's kind of the only person that we've...
Oh god, we haven't even got to Herve yet.
Yeah.
I've got one more thought about Lise, which is, poor Lise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she is completely mentally broken from everything that happens to her. She's basically got dementia.
Like,
Yeah,
she's like,
basically.
it is very, like, similar, like, so there's, like, massive fights going down, and she's trying to get to school on time so she doesn't get in trouble. And that was, like, quite heartbreaking. It's
Yeah.
also, like, so she's the only one of the 5 who actually dies. Like, the other 4 survive. And
Well,
I
Yeah,
couldn't
she's the only one who turns to
really
dust,
work out
which
why.
I think is probably a merciful ending.
Like, was that because they put the blood?
They put blood in her? Yeah.
So she died
Maybe,
like a
yeah.
Delore. And, like, by that point, all of the other Animus were dead. So
Everyone
it really
is
was
dead.
just those 4 who live, which has interesting implications. But, like, that really got me, because, like, we see Lise turn to dust, and, like, you know the other four aren't even going to be able to remember there was a fifth person with them.
Yeah, it's so good. But before we get to the ending, should we talk about the dickhead of the show? The number
The
one
dickhead of the show, Herve Gyrodot. Gyrodot?
He has a surname?
I don't think he starts off being that bad. I think he's part of the family. He's obviously helping them, but he really just wants to see his sister and niece healthy. And then as
he killed 5 people.
Yeah, as he like starts seeing that his family aren't gonna help them, he just loses his goddamn mind. He really, really does.
Yeah, it's like a progression of, okay, I can sympathize with this guy, to his actions are really deplorable. This is the point where you stop empathizing with him and go, what is wrong with you?
Like when he's initially
The role of
hanging out
dickhead will
with
now be played by
Kate.
Herve. Sorry.
When he's initially hanging out with Kate, I think he was just doing recon. Like he knows that Kate's fighting the dog guys, but he's not doing anything intentionally mean. And then the stuff happens with his niece. And then he switches his tactics. Because I remember he calls Emilio and goes, "Hey, I'm gonna like make a mess." Like, he just fucks everything up, basically.
Yep.
But in his attempt to like, that's why he does all the stuff where he's like leading the police to them, because he's trying to screw over his family to like take control to save his sister. None of his plans were that well thought through, but he wasn't doing good.
Something that we've not really brought up, but that is kind of important for Herve specifically, is that the ultimate goal of both sides of the secret war that's going on is to reclaim something called a cursed tome. It's not really gone into where they come from, but each family has one. And Herve's family, the Dorals, have one, and because they have one, they turn into beasts. And the Animus have one, and because they have one, they're all kind of immortal dolls. That have the.
I thought it was the Animus had both.
The
and
Dolls stole one.
One.
Yeah.
And then they cursed each other with the stuff in the tomes.
Yes. But, you know, the only way for either curse to be undone is for both of the books to be brought back together on one side or the other, and put on top of each other so the curse can be undone.
So they're effectively fighting for the same thing without knowing it, almost.
Yes, but only one curse can be undone is kind of the implication.
Oh, okay. I thought that like they just didn't realize.
It is sort of just glossed over.
Yeah, like if the Animus win, then the Doral family will continue turning into beasts until there's none left. If the Dorals win, then the Animus are immortal forever, and they really don't want that. They are going through it. Also, if the Dorals win, then all of the revived people that the Animus have made will turn to ash and die. So the main characters don't want that either.
Yeah, but one of the big things towards the end is that if Animus win, the main characters will, and actually all of the women will lose their memories.
Yeah. Although by the end, it's only the main characters left.
Yeah, there's a big war.
Yeah.
Although it is like not got into if Paula died there and she knows stuff.
Yeah. Was Paula confirmed?
I didn't get Paula. I didn't know if Paula was like in on it because she wasn't doing any of the fighting.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I
she
know.
knew
But
it.
she knew about everything.
She knew about everything, but
she-
I don't know if she was revived.
I think she was just a person.
Yeah, I think so.
So she would have been fine at the end, assuming that she was like not at the school, which seems to be the implication. I didn't see her die. She's probably fine.
Maybe.
But yeah, so Herve really wants to get the tome, because if he gets the tome, he can cure his sisters, which is all he really cares about. He doesn't care that this will kill tons of people. He doesn't care that it will condemn other people to live forever in eternal pain. He just wants to save... He doesn't even want to save his family. He just wants to save his
sister and his niece.
His sister and his niece, but by the end, just his sister, because his niece is got beaten to death by sticks.
And then that's what makes his end so cathartic, is he's doing all of this for his sister, and his sister's the one who turns and kills him, which is just...
Oh my god,
that was so well done.
The whole time, though, she is, like, hyperventilating, like, she can't breathe, she is, like, actively dying, and he is just, like, acting like normal. Like, he's talking to her, and, like, the voice acting is really
Chili
good.
dogs? Sure.
Yeah, because she's just, like,
I can't believe they fucking
breath.
mentioned chili dogs. I can't believe
Chili dog time.
like Sonic the Hedgehog. We should watch
Sonic X
OVA on the Sonic OVA.
Sonic OVA. He probably
on OVA
should.
Hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he, like, basically does the exact same thing the rest of the family did and doesn't actually care about what she wants. And I think, like, Kate calls him out on it and is outright like, ask your sister what she wants. And, like, she can't talk. She's, like, actively dying. And it ends with her trying to rip his fruit out, which was so
Succeeding,
satisfying.
I think.
Like, the
Yeah.
whole time I was like,
bit
I
him.
really hope she gets to eat him.
Yeah.
But at least at the start, Herve was the only person who like actually saw his niece and his sister as people.
Like, there's a really interesting bit where we see the facility they're kept in, and it's like a children's playground, because they still just see them as, like, annoying little kids, and,
Like
like
from
not
Akira.
people. Yeah.
His sister does say they think we're still children. They think we'll still like this.
But that kind of brings us to the end. And given that we have another thing to talk about, shall we just wrap up the main series? That's the
Yeah,
thing.
I've got like two other
Dr.
main
Bender.
points.
Fuck Dr.
Oh, yeah, go
Bender.
on.
Fuck Dr. Bender.
Dr. Bender. He was
so-
like, oh no, we're doing everything we can for your sister and your niece. He fucking wasn't. That was a bold-faced lie.
Yeah, he sucks.
That was definitely, like, I feel like Harvey's, like, starting point to losing it was, like, they kept being like, oh, we've put, like, your cousin on this new medicine because she's getting worse. And then he finds out that, like, they weren't. Like, there was no new medicine, or they weren't giving it to her. And he kind of loses it.
He just didn't, like... On one hand, he's fucked. On the other hand, the rest of his family's fucked. On the final hand, the whole fucking family is fucked to begin with.
Yeah.
He also
Like,
really
what
liked strangling
chance
girls.
did they have? Yeah, he did. He did choke a lot of women.
Anyway, you had a couple
I think
of points, sorry?
the ending is it's just really effective because all of this stuff happens and there's all this like kind of the plot with the two families, but I really feel like the focus is on the main cast and their relationships to each other and other people and their growth. So the ending being like the second to last episode is all of them basically finishing everything off, cleaning house, kind of, and then at the end they win and then they lose their memories and just like fall asleep. And it's such a good ending.
It is.
I kind of have a thing about them falling asleep and losing memories because y'all know the teleporter fallacy theory.
Vaguely, yes.
Well,
I understand what you're on about.
If you're
But
like
explain.
disintegrated and rebuilt, you're a different person.
Yeah.
Precisely. So,
Bishop of Theseus.
like, literally, I think, because Herve was saying, no, it's not Tintin, Herve, Herve was saying, you're literally a failed clone. And I don't think he was lying about that, as fucked up as he was. So I think by losing memories, I think the implication is they were temporary clones. And that at least, again, I have not seen the OVA. I kind of left it too late, and also autism got in the way of that. But I feel like they didn't just lose their memories. That was the end of those clones. That was their end. And although they didn't outright say it, I think that was... they were giving up their lives for a better world for their original people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get into it with the OVA, but like yes and no. I think you're definitely correct with what the anime gives you. And then I think the OVA adds a little bit of extra, which I did like a lot.
Yes.
Was the OVA released before or after?
After.
Like a year after.
After. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it said 2006 on the copyright.
Oh.
That's
I think
just probably
that's
when the
Red
shows first started airing.
Garden. It says
Yeah.
not Dead Girls, from what I remember.
Yeah.
But it released 2007.
I didn't watch the OVA because I went into it. I'm like, oh, this is an alternate universe kind of thing. I'm not. And also, I left this too late and watched like 12 episodes in a day, so yeah.
It's not an alternate universe type thing. Are we ready to transition this podcast into an impromptu OVA hell?
No. One more thing.
Yeah, sure.
And we can talk about it during the OVA bit as well. I love the character designs. I really, really appreciate how distinct they all are from each other and how much they tried to depict America and everyone being different. Specifically, the hair texture and the nose shapes. My one complaint with the noses is I don't think the staff knew what to do with them when the characters turned their heads.
Yeah.
So sometimes in some shots they'd have like a really prominent nose, and in other shots they'd have no nose at all. And I just don't think they knew how to present big noses. I appreciate they did it a lot, but yeah. It's weird.
Little bit.
So, is this it? Are we here?
In the far future of New York.
So, a few months after the series wrapped up, I think, because series wrapped up in 2007, like early 2007, and then this came out like mid 2007, I think. They released an original video anime for Red Garden called Red Garden Dead Girls. And oh god, it sure is something. I liked it a lot, but it is also...
It was really good.
So weird in terms of like what it is. Because ending of Red Garden, the girls lose their memories, but they are confirmed to be immortal, basically. They will live forever, but they have no memory of the first 17 years of their lives. They basically only remember waking up in
the Red Garden.
In the Red Garden that has just been formed. We then fast forward to 300 years at minimum in the future.
Yeah.
And everyone is alive again, but like they're different. The role of Herve will now be played
they're
by
different people, but they're the same character.
Gregory, was
Like
it?
it's
What was
kind
his
of
name?
like Edgar.
Edgar. The role of Herve will now be played by Edgar.
I thought it was
Edgar
like
Wright?
really interesting. So the idea is we cut to them like way in the future. They don't remember who they were from the TV series, but they're aware they're immortal. They don't know why. They don't know any of that. But they're
effectively
been
bounty
living
hunters
as...
also.
They're being
they've been living
superhero
as kind
bounty
of
hunters.
nomads. And they've been like going around the world, living different lives, taking on like different personalities for fun as well.
Have you seen Twilight?
But like it is kind of like Twilight, but it's also more kind of almost Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
In the way that like it's kind of presenting that fluidity of personality and identity, but also how it's incredibly rigid. So they've got like cool new haircuts, their personalities are vastly different, and I feel like kind of the core question of Dead Girls is how much of who they were before influenced who they are now. So like Claire is flirty and sexy. Rachel doesn't give a shit about her appearance. Rose
she comically
is
smells
trying
bad,
to,
and I appreciate that.
She doesn't shower. Rose is like kind of trying to be prim and proper. Kate is kind of like, she's kind of quite apathetic and like kind of the most like impulsive out of all of them now.
Yeah.
But like
They're
as it
basically
goes
the
on, we
opposite
kind
of what they were beforehand.
Yeah, but we see kind of throughout the OVA that they still have the core elements there. So Rose is still desperately scared. Claire is still kind of like, I think like kind of apprehensive around people. Rachel's still a little vapid, and Kate's still a lesbian.
She likes men sometimes.
Why didn't I watch
she
this?
likes
Edgar.
one man.
No, she did
No,
not.
she
There's
was
no
lying.
fucking way she had
She
sex
was
with Edgar.
fucking with them
Yeah.
so bad.
I could have
So,
watched
like-
this. I could have watched this, and I had time, and I chose not to because I thought it was an alternate universe thing. And I thought, oh, I probably should have given it like a week between watching. So no one's going to bring up the OVA aside from 2 sentences, and my autism's not going to get too much in the way of it.
Oh no,
So,
no,
like,
this
one
is
bit
nothing.
is
We've
that-
not even got to the robots.
We haven't
So,
even
like,
got to the
it's-
sex
There
robot
were
yet.
robots.
There's
Yeah,
big
no,
it's
robots.
far
It's
future.
mecha.
It's like a lot more technologically advanced, and also they reuse the character designs, but they're different
Yeah, like,
people. So
Claire-
Herve is now Edgar, who is Louisa's sister, in quote. brother in quotation marks. And like, you know, a lot of these characters are in the same kind of roles that they were, but I think it's supposed to be more kind of like, you know, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So
Cycle
they come
repeating themselves.
Yeah, so they come back to New York and they know they were effectively born here, but they don't know anything else. So like they're almost kind of repeating their lives from before. Now they're back in the same environment. So like there's a lot of like allusions to the original season. Like I think you were mentioning at Quartz that you could watch it as a standalone.
You could definitely view it standalone. I wouldn't recommend it, don't get me wrong, but you know.
Yeah. But you would like lack so much with kind of how everyone's acting and not acting as themselves. But like they kind of and then there are mechs. There's a mech fight.
And they're superheroes, and they have their own theme song that they sing, and it's dog shit. And Kate canonically wrote it. Like, girl, you have been alive for 300 years. Learn how to write music.
Quartz. Next time there is an OVA like this, and I say, nah, I'm not gonna watch it, I want you to jump through the screen, grab me by the shoulders, and say, you need to fucking watch this now. We are talking about it on the podcast. Do it. Because I had all damn day to do this. And I chose not to because I thought it was an alternate universe nonsense.
Let's watch it right now.
No, because my honey is waiting for me in the other room for this podcast to end.
My favorite thing, aside from Rachel because I love both her personalities, but this Rachel, perfect.
Yeah.
Aside from that, there's a scene where, so like halfway through watching the original series, June makes a joke about Herve's slutty waist, and in the OVA they joke about his slutty waist, and I thought that was perfect.
I also kind of like so they've lived for like 300 years. They all kind of have the personalities of like horny old women.
They call each other old women.
And like, so they're like talking about going after like Herve, and there's like a bet on about who gets to like who's the first to sleep with this hot transfer student.
Yeah, and because they're like all adults sort of experience so much now, there's no ambiguity like there was in the original series.
Like,
it's like, who's gonna fuck him first?
How do we prove it? Like, oh, it's fine. Men love when you take photos of them during sex. And then like Herve like kind of hugs Kate, and she uses that to
Gregory,
kind of claim...
not Gregor, Edgar, not Herve.
Like
Edgar.
Hugs her, and like
the role
like,
of Herve is now being played by Edgar. Keep up.
It's so tricky, but she's like, oh, like, you know, we had plenty of time, like, and they're like, oh my god, how could you slut, like, in public on the school grounds? And she's doing it entirely for the money, I'm pretty sure. Because, like, we discover, like, Kate is, like, taking all of their bounty hunter winnings and throwing them into the slums for slum children.
Just making it literally rain money.
She does. That's what she gets up to. And like it's so interesting.
I love the original show. I love Dead Girls more. I wish there was more Dead Girls.
I wish there was more Dead Girls.
Why did you do this? Why didn't you make me watch this?
You had time.
Yeah, and it's like such a cool, like, classic cyberpunk vibe. Like, they're meeting up with a fixer, they're doing bounties. She fucking does, like, the Ghost in the Shell jump as well, when when Kate jumps off the board the first time. And
they have flying motorbikes. They have curves.
Motorbikes,
you know,
are fucking spine breakers, by the way.
Part of me is actually glad I didn't watch this just so that y'all can recount it to me, and I just sit here in disbelief.
There's a big robot that is pregnant with Rose.
Yeah,
Rose gets unburst by a robot.
But, like, the core thing is, like, because they're back in New York, the Red Garden is Roosevelt Island, where they were born/died. And there's, like, a really interesting bit. So, Lise is now a fucking android called Louise.
Yes.
And the island takes her back like, really interestingly, like, it feels like it's accepting that she might actually be Lise, or, like, the reincarnation or representation of Lise.
Yeah.
But, like, they
It
want
swallows her and Edgar whole, and a little bit of the robots. But I do want to just talk about the bikes really quick. The hover bikes, they're spine breakers. There's a little metal protrusion out the back of it that's like a back support. If you get in a crash, your spine is fucked.
But yeah, I also thought it was really interesting. So they get this bounty that turns out to be a trap to go back to the island, and they don't really find anything else, like, about who they were. And also they kind of deliberately choose not to. They're like, let's just get out of this fucking city. Like, let's go to Egypt or, like, somewhere else. Maybe we'll come back and do that later.
It was 17 years of our lives. We've lived 300. It can't matter that much.
But then I feel like
matters a lot.
by the end, there's kind of an acknowledgement that it might have mattered more than they think. But they aren't ready to confront that. And with kind of, like, how overgrown the island was, part of me wonders if, like, hypothetically, by the time they are able to confront that, will the school have been consumed? Like, will it be too late?
Like, it had already been long enough that people living in New York didn't know that there was even a school there. Because
yeah, they think it's a
canonically,
research
shit
lab.
happens to you if you go onto that island, so people don't go onto the island.
Yeah, you get attacked
I
by
remember,
monsters
like-
that look like dogs, and you're led to think
Yeah.
that, are the Dorals still there? No, it's robots.
They're robot dogs.
They're
but I
robot
also wonder
dogs.
if the island is protecting itself.
Maybe.
Because, like, they mention that, like, they can't do construction on the island because weird stuff happens, and it sounded like that's been going on longer than the dog thing. So I wonder, like, if the Red Garden is kind of more of a preservative.
Wait, is there a physical red garden?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the
You see
island.
it
damn
at
it.
the end
Pictures.
of the episode when it, like, zooms out of the 22nd episode, where it's, like, zooming out through.
I must have
New
missed
York.
that.
It's like
Yeah.
the credits, so you might have skipped it. But yeah, like, when they all die, like, flowers bloom across the entire
Yeah,
island.
that I saw.
Yeah,
I saw that.
It's red.
I saw that.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
It's magenta.
Supposedly,
Okay.
even though it's
But
pink.
I
it's red.
skipped. I saw that, but I didn't notice they were calling it the Red Garden.
Yeah.
I went to walk the dog instead.
Understandable.
But yeah, so, like, part of me wonders if, like, that's kind of the curse protecting itself, because presumably, like, the books are still at the basement, because they don't remember anything, so they wouldn't know to go and get them. No one alive knows this exists. So is that, like, the curse's, like, self-protection system? But yeah, no, actually, I remember now. They break a hole in the building, and they see inside, and they see it's a school inside, and they're kind of a little taken aback. Because, like, no one knows what this building is. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
This is during the robot fight.
The big robot
A
fight.
fun little detail is that after the robot fight, you see, I think it's after, no, it's before the robot fight. You see that Claire is driving the car that she drove in the original.
Yeah, she still
Yeah.
got her car.
That's fun.
I think it's
like,
a hover car, though.
I don't know if we see the bottom of it, but, like, did she, like, pick that back up? Because we know the car was there, because Lise walks past it in the last episode and is like, oh, thanks, Claire, for the lift. Because she's out of it. So, like, did Claire wake up, see a fucking car, and just take it? And doesn't know it's actually hers?
Maybe she just has an affinity for beat up shitty cars.
Yeah.
For shit
Yeah.
boxes.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
some
also,
people do. I'm literally dating an NB who wants to make a Lexus in a Miku car thing.
Long Lexus. I hate to cut talk on Dead Girls short, because I could talk about this fucking OVA for hours. I kind of wish we hadn't watched it, because then we could do a proper full episode on it, but well.
And we can do a full
haven't.
episode
We can
on
still
like,
do
at
it
a
at
different
some
point.
point. Yeah.
I haven't, so how about I don't watch it, and then we get maybe Dark Violet Cloud to watch just Dead Leaves without the context of the
Dead Leaves?
original series.
No, wrong one.
No, Dead Leaves, no.
I was calling it Dead Leaves
Dead
like
Girls.
the first half, just because I
And
can't make
Dead
it.
Garden and Dead Girls and oh god.
Anyway.
And Dead Podcast, because this is a 2-hour fucking
Yeah, we've just
recording.
gone over 2 hours in
Oh.
recording, so I want to ask, what did we all think of Red Garden?
I like the badass old principal lady, and that is all I have to say.
I
Yeah.
liked it. I do maintain what I said at the beginning. I think that I can't in good faith recommend it, given that it is such a slow burn and the first half kind of a hard watch. It's a necessary watch. I'm not saying you skip it. I'm saying that it's kind of tough. I was struggling with it, but it gets really good towards the end. If that sounds like something
I
you can
think
handle, go for it. If it doesn't sound like your thing, it's probably not worth it.
Yeah, like I think if you like character-driven narratives, you'll really enjoy the kind of first half setup. Personally, I don't think this is something I would have gone out of my way to watch if it wasn't picked for this. But I really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad I did watch it.
Yeah.
I'm also glad I wouldn't have watched it. I probably wouldn't have, just because of the horror tag and because of my anxiety. I don't typically do well with horror, but I don't think it's that horror. It's more supernatural and suspense-based.
It's mostly a slice of
I
life.
think-
It's existential.
It's horror in the same way that those shitty horror movies you see on Netflix are horror. They're not actually
Yeah.
scary. They just got
It's
stuff
it's
that's
horror for the girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say if you like slow burns that are character focused and you like shitty characters learning to do better in situations that they can't fully comprehend, then I would definitely go for it. Also, bodily autonomy is cool.
Yeah. Also, if you do watch it, you do need to watch the Dead Girls OVA afterwards, if only just because it's fucking amazing. I love this thing.
I liked that a lot.
It's so...
Don't make
It's
this.
so different.
Don't
I think we
make the
should get
mistake
together and
I
fund
did.
more.
Yeah.
Don't make the mistake I did and skip it.
Yeah.
Wait, holy shit, I've just realized. We've got an entire episode without mentioning Gunsmith
there
Cats.
it is. There it is.
Chicago is
We
sort
also
of
didn't
like
even
New
get into the
York.
weird incesty elements. But
Yeah.
Oh no, we didn't talk about the incest. It's fine.
Fine. Counter's been
There
reset now that
wasn't
we mentioned them
any.
here anyway. One day it will take
There
over.
wasn't any. It was psychopathy, not incest, you idiot.
No, between JC and Lula,
that was interesting.
that was
Lula just straight up said, "I can't live without you," and it's like you don't talk about a sibling like
like,
that.
I love you, don't leave me, we'll be together forever.
Anyway, Counter's been reset at this point. It's fine.
Yeah,
Yippee!
Yippee!
Yay!
That the end of
fucking
it?
celebrate.
Are we done? Can I stop recording?
No, we're not done. Someone
Wait,
needs
we
to
need to
ask me
do-
what we're watching next month.
Oh, what are we
Yes.
watching next month, Quartz?
We're watching Lupin the Third Part 1. I thought that would be fun. I imagine
Ooh.
it'll be pretty easy. So yeah, we're doing that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming along. Thank you to everyone here for taking part. Watch Red Garden. Watch Dead Girls OVA. Let's just leave off on that.
Yay!
Yay!
Hooray!
Bubbleburst Rental has now closed. We hope you enjoy your stay. Thank you to our staff members, MerriKiwi and DrLockdown. You can find their information